The revolution will be broadcast.
Doesn't that sound exciting to you?
Welcome back. Welcome back, Shadow Nation, to the one, the only mystifying Oracle Radio. Your Ghostman Demon Hunter show, Demon Hunter.
Do we have 5 minutes? I just realized it's Valentine's Day and I gotta run out and get a card and some flowers.
If you ain't done that now, you're a dead man. Special thanks to all our homes, all our sponsors, Stitcher Smart Radio, Planet Paranormal, Twitch, twitch.tv/Ghost and Demon, one of our new carriers. The SYL Project, guys, share your love today. Give some love, share some love. The SYLproject.com, Attentive Home Healthcare. If you're in the Indianapolis area, you need some love for a family member you love, give the good people at Attentive Home Healthcare a call. They're ready to help. Our good friends at Paranormal A, the Canadian network. Thanks, guys, for being so cool.
They are cool.
They are the best people in the world as the snow falls in the Midwest.
Canadians, they're my favorite socialists.
They are. Socialists. They're going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Oh, my goodness. Did you see the Republican debate last night?
I did not.
Oh, my.
You know, I don't watch the debates. I listen to them on the news the next day and get all the highlights.
You know, I usually don't. I'm a 40-year-old man, and since I was a kid, I've been bored to tears by politics. But this year, I've been following it because it's so humorous. I mean, between Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and, of course, Trump.
I gotta say, you know, the whole thing in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
We're not a political show, folks. If you're listening to us for the first time, do not worry. This is not a political show. But we have to look at the humor of some of this stuff going on.
Well, yeah.
New Hampshire. Bernie Sanders wins 60% of the vote to Hillary Clinton's, I think, what was it, 28% or 27% of the vote.
He blew her out of the water.
And she walks away with more, if equal to, if not more, of the delegates.
Oh, yeah.
That is a sign of corruption in my book.
Well, he blew her away in New Hampshire, though. I mean, he tore her apart. So a lot of people. It's going to come down to Trump and Bernie.
See Iowa, and they had to decide by flipping coins. Hillary won by 0.2% because they flipped coins in a bunch of the delegate sections.
Well, last night they were going at it, man. One of the actual quotes, okay, from the Republican debate last night, Bush was talking about because Trump was jumping on the President Bush did this, did that. 9/11 was because we weren't safe, and he's going to make us safe, and da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And he goes, my family is the greatest family I know, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Then he goes, and my mother is the strongest person I know. And Trump goes, then she should be running for president. And I mean, I never seen nothing like it, man. And, the funny thing is people want to see that with a Putin and his smart aleckness, and his face and all that. They want to see that kind of thing, And I think that's...
and we're
Scotty,
at that point in society, Sean.
Yeah. Well,
we're at that point in society where we want a strong, capable leader who can make us laugh.
Right. People are sick of, political correctness running this country into the ground or whatever. But anyway,
on both
guys.
Sides. I mean, the only reason people push politically correctness, I think, at times, is because it helps their agenda. And both sides do it. So it's...
Just do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Anyway, guys,
Do it.
big night tonight. Nathan, Shadow Nation, listeners around the world, if you haven't join the show. Follow us on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube, iTunes. Give us a review, Nathan, in iTunes, right? Yeah, help us out. It's free, for Christ's sakes. Give us a review, guys. Anyway.
People call us up, say, hey, you got 3,000 downloads last night. That's great. Not one of them left us a review.
Yeah, we didn't even get a smiley
face. Get online,
face.
Folks. Type a few lines.
Lazy arses. Okay, guys, without further ado, tonight's guest. I'm ready for it.
Go for it.
Oh, my goodness. You hear the music, Nathan? You hear the music. Good friend of the show stops by. Tonight's guest is an American actor, Georgia-born. Since the day he hitchhiked a ride to Hollywood, California, it's actually a good story, guys. You'll hear it. He has brought enjoyment to both your television set and the big screen. He's known for his work on such films as The Exorcist 3, The Great Gatsby, The Right Stuff, and of course, the AMC smash hit, The Walking Dead. Actor Scott Wilson, his portrayal of Hershel Greene, the beheaded man. He's going to be in studio tonight, guys. He's going to tell us all about behind the scenes, being part of a family, how it feels to be part of what's going to go down in history as one of the most classic, I believe, shows that ever hit your television set. Don't you think, Nathan?
It's definitely the most unique show to have come along and actually made it. There's been a lot of really unique shows that come along, and then they're gone.
Yeah, they go real fast, but, something like The Walking Dead. Yeah, we've had so many people from The Walking Dead on. We've had Tyrese, Chad Coleman, Mikey Rooker. We've had some big guys. We got a lot of friends with The Walking Dead cast, we're proud to say. And, they've all said that it's like a family on that.
And I told you how I went to Walker Stalker, right, Sean?
Yeah.
And I went to Walker Stalker, and it took me like 5 minutes to remind Chad who I was, because he's nenever seen our faces.
Right, you had
And
to talk.
Finally, I pulled out our business card, put it down, and he recognized our logo and knew who we were.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, I was really embarrassed because I was surrounded by my friends going, "Let's go talk to Chad." And sure enough, he's like, "Who are you?" No, you remember me, Ghost Man and Demon Hunter.
Oh, those crazy dudes, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it came down to. But I wanted to see Aaron.
Oh well, we've had Ross Marquand on. He portrays Aaron.
And every time I went to his booth, he was on break.
Oh wow.
Men must get to take more breaks than.
He's an amazing on our show, guys. Go back in our archives. ghostanddemon.com. Check out archives, click on it. We have over 9 years, going on our 10th year of archives. And some of the Walking Dead guests, all of them have been amazing, but Ross did live, what do you call it? He did the voices for people. Remember that? Live on the show.
Oh, yes.
McConaughey, I forget all he did, but he was amazing. Ross was awesome. We talked to him.
And then, of course, it was at Walker Stalker that I met Lou.
Yeah, Lou was on the show.
Lou Temple, and he came on the show because he met me at Walker Stalker.
Big Lou's amazing. Check him out too, guys. But we've had the best in the X-Files, everything else. So if you are just joining us for the first time and you don't know the Ghost Man and Demon Hunter show, we started back in 2006, and we cover all things strange and weird. One week it might be, Gillian Anderson, we're hoping. Or from a lot of cast, the X-Files have come on, guys. The Walking Dead, a lot of horror genre stuff that we've had on, and plus the paranormal. So one week could be a lady that's pregnant with a, alien human hybrid baby. So we got it all. Only the
Have
best.
we had the alien human hybrid baby woman on yet?
Nathan, I think
I know she's been trying to get us to come on. So.
I don't know. She's been trying to get you to help
She
her
thinks
out.
I'm an alien. What do you expect?
Yeah, she wants another hybrid. She wants another hybrid for Valentine's Day.
It's Valentine's Day, Sean.
It is. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. Right?
You're scaring me. You're scaring me.
I was reading up on Valentine's Day because I got the, out there, girls, get into the Twitter right now. We're monitoring it. Or the chat room. Don't be shy if you're in there. Make sure you get in. Get your questions in. We're going to have a Rot Talk comes back tonight, which is the segment we get to talk about The Walking Dead. You guys join in on Twitter. Let us know. Make sure you hashtag it, Ghost and Demon, your questions so we know that they're questions for us. And we'll get your questions in there and join the conversation on Rot Talk. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think about last week? All that stuff. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But Valentine's Day, ladies of the Shadow Nation, even the guys, chime in right now because I want to know, when did chocolates in a card start becoming subpar? It's just flowers, they say. Well, flowers could die. Candy's, cheap or whatever. And, cards are thoughtful, but they're just cards. When did Valentine's Day become more than just a blue-collar type holiday? You know what I mean?
It's cost a lot of money now. Do you realize, Sean, that the original heart-shaped box of chocolates goes back to 1868?
Really?
We have to thank Richard Cadbury
Thank you, Richard.
with that. He made a heart-shaped box of chocolates for his sweetheart,
Oh,
and he also made the box a little unique by using his own paintings to decorate the box lid. So, first chocolate box of hearts or heart box of chocolates in 1868. So
what they didn't tell you, folks, is that the Cadbury.
That's why we have to spend $25 on $5 worth of chocolate now.
It was actually his girlfriend's heart that he put the chocolates in.
Ah, there you go.
Bravissimo.
That would fit our show a little more.
It does. I always, when you say Cadbury, I think Easter. I don't think of Valentine's Day. No, it's crazy. I mean, you cannot. No wonder so many people want to be single around Valentine's Day, especially now, because it's insane. I mean, it is. I went to the. Come on, man. They show you these Hazelberg diamond places and do what your loved one wants. My loved one, if she wants a $70,000 bracelet or necklace, I love you, but we're not going to be diamond poor, okay? I'd much rather put that towards a house or, I don't know, heating bills, electric, stuff like that. So, I don't know. Give
Sean,
us a break.
What did you get your sweetheart this year for?
Funny you should ask, my friend, my brother, a box of chocolates and a card. No, but, we had the kids this weekend. They were all here, so I told her next weekend we're going to go see a movie, a nice little dinner, and that's the way it should be. That's the way Valentine's Day should be. A little, hubba bubba.
Chrissy and I had a couple steaks last night, and today she gave me some chocolates and a card, and I gave her chocolates, a card, flowers, and I bought her a little necklace.
My wife made me feel terrible because she got me a Star Wars collector's edition, Jabba the Hutt and the Rancor monster and all this, because I collect this stuff down in the studio.
Oh yeah.
And she spent about $80. I ended up spending about $40. So it was like, oh, you always feel.
Oh, you want me to make you feel better, Sean?
Yes.
My anniversary.
Yeah.
Was as you know, I got married in September.
All right.
So last September was my anniversary.
All right.
I had been traveling a lot with my wife, and we'd travel, and she'd say, "Oh, look at that! I like that. Look at that! I like that." So I bought her like 3 small things. Probably came to about $60 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And I gave them to her for our anniversary. It's like, "Oh, here's that plate you really wanted. Here's that bag you really wanted. Here's
and
that."
She said, "I want
you really wanted." And for me. For our anniversary, she gave me a trip to Disney World.
See? Exactly.
I'm like, okay, so I spent $60 and you spent $1,500. All right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? So you got out okay. You were all right.
Yeah, I made out great. She got cheated.
Yeah. And she didn't hang it over your head.
That could be said for any marriage.
Yeah. Well.
Speaking of marriage, Sean, did you know the record for the longest spanning marriage is 85 decades?
85
Wait,
decades?
I can't write. 8.5 decades. 8.5 decades. Sorry. 88. A UK couple who had been married for 88 years. It's just a marriage between a 108-year-old and a 101-year-old. So, I mean, can you imagine, Sean? 88 years?
Yeah, 88 years.
A lot of love goes out to you folks.
Praying for death.
Herbert and Zelma Fisher. So,
yeah.
Love to you guys making it 88 years out in the UK.
Oh, nice. We got some people in the chat room. Nitro's in there. She was talking about she got to go see Deadpool last night, and some stuff like that. Which let me tell you something. Deadpool, I wanted to go see it too, but it's amazing. Okay, that they talk about this. It's getting great reviews. It smashed the box office. Everybody that followed Deadpool knows that he is a Marvel superhero, but he is totally different. He's an assassin. He's vulgar. And they came out with this 2-page warning to parents saying, please, people, do not bring your kids. We would like to be able to get funds to make a part 2. So please don't go out. It has full frontal nudity. It has curse words, everything. Read a comic book on Deadpool if you don't believe us. Please, for the love of God, don't take your kids. What happened, Nathan? Opening night, a lady, front page. Oh my God, worst movie ever. Nudity, vulgarity. I was shocked. We had to leave halfway through it. I mean, my God, man.
If you do not take the time to see what the movie is about and what it's going to be like before you take your children, then before you complain, then when you walk in to complain about it, they should be allowed to take your children away from you.
They should.
Because you should have taken the time as a parent to look into it before you let your kids talk you into taking them to see it.
So have child protective custody services in the back of the theater.
They should have to be handed over to the movie theater. They can be put to work at the movie theater, sweeping up popcorn until their parents prove to be worthy of taking care of them.
Hey, Nate, we haven't talked about the paranormal side of our show for a while. St. Valentine's Day Massacre, February 14th, 1929. You might have remembered this thing, right? You weren't around then, but you might have heard of it, right?
I've heard once or twice about it, yeah.
Capone, Mr. Al Capone, he was running the mob in Chicago, South Side, and there was a Irish gang that was rivaling him. I've actually been out there once, guys. If you ever go out to Chicago, it's 2122 North Clark Street is where it was. Mayor Daley came through years ago, like when the Blues Brothers were doing their movie out there, and he was the mayor, and he said, we do not promote, gang activity, so he tore down the garage where the Valentine's Day Massacre happened, but that's not the big story. The big story is because it's a big empty lot, or at least a partial empty lot where this happened. And, of course, all these guys, Capone's men had brought him in under the, they faked. They thought they dressed up as cops. And they popped the Irish gang, and they brought them into this place. And the Irish gang thought, we're going to go to jail. This is it. These are cops. We'll be out before the end of our shift. It turned out it was Capone's men, and they just massacred them. Hence the name, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Hence the name.
Yeah. So ever since then, the good people of Chicago have reported seeing mob figures, not current day, dressed in the old pinstripes with the Tommy guns and stuff, that are still walking around that area there, around where the building used to be, Nathan.
Yeah.
They hear screams. They hear gunshots, which it is Chicago, but take that with a grain of salt. They hear Tommy gunshots every once in a while, and people have noticed, because there's a real cool bar next to it, and apparently there's been a couple ladies accosted walking to the bar when they go around the side by where the building used to be. They get their goodies squeezed.
Well, Sean, you and I are not known for going in and mildly ghost hunting.
No.
We are known for going in and perhaps not aggravating spirits, but definitely instigating them.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I think we need to go there in cop uniforms.
Yeah.
And see if we can raise a little spirit there. Sounds like a plan.
Raise the dead. Yeah, I think we should. Anyway, the ghosts have been out there. We should go check that out. But I always love that stuff, man. From Dillinger here in Indiana to Capone.
Well, you love the gunfighters. I know you do. You were a big Billy the Kid fan, too.
I was. But Nathan, you know what time it is.
What time is it, Sean?
It's time for G&D Show in the News, guys. It's always fresh. It's always exciting. It's strange, weird, and it's straight from the G&D Show vaults. And it starts right
now.
Good evening, I'm the Ghost Man, Sean B.
And I'm Nathan S., a.k.a. the Demon Hunter.
And here's what's happening strange in your world.
That's right, folks. It's time for G&D in the News. That's weird news that Sean and I take right out of the papers because we like the titles. We don't read them in advance, so we make a lot of mistakes. When you hear a mistake, you take a drink. That's the G&D drinking game. Of course, if you're driving while listening to the G&D show, please don't play the G&D drinking game. And if you've got anything important to do this evening, please listen responsibly.
Or not.
Or not.
You can blame it on being drunk. I was drunk. Yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, which I'm sure you are, there's a lot of people that listen to us and think, oh my God, these guys don't know how to read the news. Well, it's kind of one of those things where, we don't it's part of the shtick. We don't read it because, you know, we're usually pressed for time running into the studio. So, and it's funner. It's funner not to read them, Nathan.
And you get the Sunday edition. You want to read the Sunday news. You want to know what's going on right now.
Yeah, you want to know, you know, what's going on in your world. So, do you got the story tonight, or what? What's going on here?
I do. I thought you were starting.
No, I'm gonna let you do it.
Oh, but I'll steal you the story you really want.
Oh, really? Go ahead. I gotta pull up the news. That's my problem.
Because you want to read about, hey, even a Yeti needs to pee sometimes.
Oh, you did steal it. Oh, man, that's what I get. That's what I get for hitting the wrong button. That's it. That's what I get, man.
Imagine enjoying a pleasant vacation in the Spanish... Have a drink, folks. From a ski resort in the something mountains when all of a sudden
you can't get away with
see
something.
the abominable snowman or Yeti. The internet has been abuzz over the reported sighting of a large white-colored furry creature walking on two legs through the tree line around... That was right.
Yeah, but you paused too long.
An area of a snow at... now you can drink. Sean messed me up. You can thank Sean for that drink, folks.
Yes.
The tree line area of snow at the popular resort, according to the New York Daily News. On January 29th, a skier using the name Kangaroo reported he saw the distant cousin of Bigfoot and took a very short, not specially, have a drink, typically,
Oh, good grief.
yeah, really, blurry, unconventional video, along with a couple of separate pictures. The following video from him is on news.net.
Okay.
Should I play it, Sean? No, they won't hear the video. That's fine.
No, they don't want to.
You can check out the images, folks, on Huffington Post World News. Look under weird news. It's right there. This unexplained phenomenon, reported by the skier, is a short encounter, saying, "This morning, skiing on the Formelga with friends, have a drink, folks, we've come across this. What the hell is it? A bear or a bloody Yeti?" That was right, folks. He said bloody. We're
bloody.
We've told the ski resort, but they haven't taken us seriously. I bet there's something on the loose up there. I know I saw it. However, a response spokesman confirmed a search for the area had taken place after the Yeti encounter. So, Sean, Yetis.
Can't live with and can't live without them.
Well, apparently, they've taken up skiing.
Well, yeah. Hey, next up, Nathan, a man accused of tossing an alligator into a Wendy's drive-thru window.
I didn't think you were going to go for that story.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try here. Our system apparently doesn't want to work. Anyway, guys, a Florida man in Jupiter is facing assault. Not Jupiter, the planet. I guess that's a part of Florida there, the Jupiter thing. Anyway, a Florida man in Jupiter, Florida, is facing assault charges after Fish and Wildlife officials said he tossed a 3.5 foot long alligator into the drive-thru window of a Wendy's. You believe this?
No, I don't. But I'll go with it.
The man said he wanted a biggie fry, so they get. That's all I got, Nathan. This man. Okay, here we go. Wendy's. Yeah, this is not wanting to cooperate with me tonight.
All right, Sean, we'll come back to it then.
Oh, hold on. Joshua James told police he picked up the gator on the side of the road. According to various reports, the suspect was taken to the Palm Beach County Jail on Monday, where he remains in lieu of a $6,000 bond. James appeared in court Tuesday morning and was ordered by a judge to stay out of all Wendy's restaurants. That's an awesome bell. To avoid contact of or possession with any animals other than his mother's dog, to undergo a mental health evaluation, and to avoid possessing any weapons.
Currently, the folks at McDonald's and Burger King are putting wires, gator-proof wiring over their drive-through windows right now.
But what's the purpose? I mean, I know it's cool. It looks good on a resume, that you,
Gator Wrangler?
Yeah, Gator Wrangler. Hey, what's the craziest thing you've ever done? Oh,
Gator
get ready for
wrangling
this.
in a Wendy's.
Gator done.
Oh.
Instead of
Hey,
Gator.
Sean, Obama told a 6-year-old no direct contact with aliens.
Yeah.
Comes to us from UPI News from in California. President Obama answered a 6-year-old's hard-hitting question. Have a drink, folks. On the Ellen taping. Haven't actually made direct contact with aliens yet. Obama was questioned during Thursday night's taping of the Ellen DeGeneres show by a 6-year-old presidential expert, Marcy Hasey, and she asked the president about the legendary Book of Secrets. That's a book, the president quipped. Hasey theorized that the secrets in the book could include an answer to whether or not aliens are real. We have not had actual direct contact with aliens, Obama said. When we do, I'll let you know.
Okay.
The president did not clarify whether indirect contact has been made with aliens through some of the type of have a drink, folks. Has been made with aliens through some type of intermediary.
Intermediary. It's a big one.
Well, let's
Took it
say
over like a champ, though. I liked it.
if there's an intermediary between us and another alien, wouldn't it have to be another alien so we'd have direct contact?
I mean, that
Maybe
makes...
we had it, the intermediary was the Yeti, Sean.
Maybe, but it was Bigfoot's cousin. Hey, Nathan, you hear the music.
What music is that, Sean?
Tonight, guys, in celebration of The Walking Dead mid-season return premiere, February 14th. That's today, this historic date. This show we all know and love. We brought back Rot Talk.
Rat Talk.
This is a G&D original series, which if you don't know what that means, it means Nathan and myself came up with it. A Rot Talk original where each week we scour the universe to find the latest and greatest news in Walking Dead. I'm going to say theater. It's not just television show. It's
history.
It's
theater.
It's a live
Theater history.
It's live opera, guys, and we find out and we get opinions and we tell you what we think's going to happen this week on The Walking Dead. Nathan.
Hey, Sean. Well, of course, I have to come right in with the fact that since we have gotten to met and gotten to know so many members of The Walking Dead, a little inside comment that was made to us by one of the Walking Dead cast members that they feel coming up soon, either Michonne or Daryl are going to have to die.
Really? Michonne or Daryl?
Yep.
I didn't hear that.
Yes, they apparently have followed a very similar road down the in the scripting, and they feel that eventually one of them is going to have to go. Now, of course, this is a difficult situation because Daryl being the most popular character in Walking Dead right now, and Michonne having a long story in the current comic book series. Which way do you go with something like that if it's actually going to happen?
Well, I don't know, but I would have to say, Nathan, that it would be Michonne. I would have to say
it would probably go that way too, which will tick off even more of the comic book fans who still follow the comic books and the show. But Sean, let's go right into where we ended last year with a reminder to the folks that this is not a spoiler-free show. We do not tell you anything that's going to come up because we don't know. We haven't seen the new episodes. However, we will be talking about stuff that has happened in past episodes leading up to tonight's episode and what we think is going to happen. So if you don't want to hear what we have to say, stick your fingers in your ear and go la la la, or if you're listening on tape, fast forward about 2 minutes.
Hey, Nathan, this comes from our friends at Pop Sugar. Multiple Walking Dead stars pretty much confirmed a major death. And we're losing our darn minds, it says, huh?
Oh, no.
There we go. The threat of Negan's arrival on this season of The Walking Dead has been looming over us for a while now. I can feel it. especially since his presence in the comic books comes with the very shocking death of a fan favorite character. Of course, what we're talking about is Glenn, or actor Stephen Yeun. Although Glenn's brief brush with death earlier this season had fans hoping he'd be alive and well for many episodes to come. A few of show's cast members have inadvertently dropped some major spoilers regarding his fate, Nathan.
Ooh.
Well, it says in a new... You guys can't believe everything you read on the internet, but that's why we're going to tell you anyway. In a new interview with Entertainment Weekly, the intensity of the 6th season finale came up, and Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick Grimes, had quite a few troubling things to say. Here's what he said. I felt sick to my stomach when I read the script. It was the first day in the whole 6 years of working on The Walking Dead that I was late for work because I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't get back to sleep. Lincoln revealed I was so angry and frustrated, and I felt sick, and that was just after reading. So we're going to find out tonight, guys. I know for one thing, Nathan. Yeah. Negan, our buddy, he'll be on the show soon, guys. What's his full name? Jeff's his first name. He played in The Possession, stuff like that. Anyway, guys, I'll get you that. Well,
Supernatural was where I know him from.
Oh, really? He did Supernatural too, huh?
He played the boy's father.
Oh, I didn't. He's awful young to play a father figure.
He played the father of Sam and Dean Winchester in Supernatural, and I'm only stalling right now so I can remember what his name is.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to look it up myself, so keep stalling. But anyway, after you were the first one to tell me about it because you followed the Walking Dead comic books.
Yes.
And you had told me, hey man, this Negan guy is going to come into the cast and you're not going to like it. And I said,
once you see Lucille, folks, it's time to cringe.
Yeah, Lucille. I thought that was supposed to be, B.B. King's guitar, which it is, but apparently now it's going to be something different. But, it makes you think. I hate to see these cast members that we know and love over the years have somebody that comes in that's going to be so powerful that he's basically going to own these people, Nathan. He's going to own them.
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah, so he's going to be definitely in charge. And I just think that we're in for a long period of oppression with the guys that we love on The Walking Dead. I think Negan's going to run amok. And you think we'll see him tonight? It left off the Negan's, hoodies stopped him on the road and said, your stuff now belongs to Negan or whatever. Do you think we're going to see Negan tonight?
Well, let me start off by saying, Sean, that Jeffrey Dean Morgan, that's the name of the father. But I think we're going to look right off the bat at the confrontation between Daryl and between Negan's group. We've got to say right off the bat that he's going to have to show a little bit of restraint, because Daryl's first reaction is to shoot first, ask question later. He's already had his crossbow taken from him. Now he's had his weapons taken from him. Is he going to be able to pull a Rick and wait it out, wait for the opportunity to strike? That's the first thing we've got to see. Is he going to be able to wait it out, or is somebody going to make a move and somebody dies right off the bat there? Yeah. We're also dealing with the fact that everybody else is surrounded by the dead.
This is true. This is very true.
Can I just say 3 words that will really tick you off, Sean?
Say it. Go ahead.
Mommy. Mommy.
What is the deal with the snotty-nosed brat? Shut up, kid. Well, that Carol has ruined him. The kid's going to try to eat somebody. He's crazy.
And bake them into cookies.
Yeah, he keeps thinking, are we the monsters? Are they the monsters? He's going to get everybody killed. And I think what's going to happen tonight is it's going to pick up where it left off. It's going to pick up with the guys saying, drop your weapons, we're taking you to us, your stuff's now Negan stuff, blah, 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 blah. Which, by the way, after living through Terminus and everything else, they would have to shoot me. I would not. Would you surrender?
No,
I
don't think I could. But then again, will he pull a Rick and wait it out for the opportune moment to strike, or is he going to argue the situation? A good argument might stall it long enough for 2 of them to get away. Yeah. But somebody, if they don't stall, if they don't go along with it in the beginning, at least one is going to die in that confrontation.
So what do you think's going to happen tonight on The Walking Dead? Run it down for us. Tell us what the outcome's going to be.
I think we're going to see at least one moderate character die.
Okay.
And I think that we're probably going to see a hint at the end to a major character dying.
Really? Okay. So
I really do. I don't think they can leave us where they've put us right now and not give us at least 2 deaths and one of them be a major death.
Yeah, I think you got a point there. I really don't think that they're going to come right out and give us a major, major death. But if you remember right, when it started at Terminus, it started right out. A lot of people getting their throats cut, but you're right. They weren't major cast members.
And let's look at where we have everybody right now in this situation. We have Rick, Carol,
yeah,
and the group in the middle of everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
We have Glenn just outside. And I'm having a brain freeze here. Glenn's wife, name again, Sean?
Maggie.
Maggie is on top of the wall.
Yeah.
And we have Daryl and his group out facing Negan's group. All 4 sections where people are currently placed are in major jeopardy right now. No, except for actually Glenn. And that, I think, is the scariest part, because Glenn being in the least jeopardy now means he's going to put himself into the most jeopardy later.
Yeah, because I think he's sitting back watching, and either Negan's people are going to capture him when he comes into Rick to find Rick, or Glenn and the little girl with him, or the teenage girl, is going to stay just outside of it, make a ploy to try to get everybody out, and going to get caught. And goodbye, Glenn. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. But Nathan, the hour is upon us. We've actually went past the hour. Let's remind everybody tonight's guest, buddy. Tonight's guest, he's an American actor, Georgia-born boy. Since the day he hitchhiked a ride to Hollywood, he's brought enjoyment to both your television set and the silver screen. Known for his work on such films as Exorcist III, The Great Gatsby, The Right Stuff, and of course the AMC classic, The Walking Dead. Mr. Scott Wilson will be in studio tonight. He's going to stop by and tell us all about what's going on. We'll have to ask him what he thinks his opinion is. What's going to happen tonight, Nathan?
I don't know. I'm lost, Sean. I'm really lost. They've built it up too big, and I can only think that they're all going to die.
They're all... the end. Everybody gets shot. Wouldn't that be a great ending, mid-season finale? People all across the world be going, what happened? What just happened there? I don't know. But anyway, Nathan, it's time to go to break, buddy. What do you think?
I think I'm going to enjoy this.
I think so good too, guys. Okay, stay tuned. Make sure you get off here soon enough for the 9 o'clock start of The Walking Dead. But you don't want to miss Scott Wilson up next, guys. Hershel Greene from The Walking Dead. Tonight's band, because each week we play a band we know, we support. We love the little man on this show. We give everybody a shot. Tonight's artist is named Paul Wine-Jones. Name of the song is Stop Arguing. Shadow Nation, Demon Hunter,
Ghostman.
Guys, we'll be right back.
Woman, you better bound bargain. Woman, you better bound bargain. The bargain. The bargain. I try to go to church. Try your arguing. Try to go to work. Try your arguing. Woman, you better bound bargain. Woman, you better bound bargain. The bargain. Go ahead, I love you. Die coming home. Oh, you start your hugging. Woman, you better somebody. Woman, you better somebody. Somebody. Yo, Lucille. Try to go to work. Lord, you start your hugging. Show your dad I love you. Start your hugging. Woman, you better somebody. Woman, you better somebody. Somebody.
Hey, this is Ross Marquand, Aaron from The Walking Dead. You're listening to the Ghost Man and Demon Hunter Show.
I am not
Tonight's guest, Demon Hunter, Shadow Nation. Since the 1960s, he's brought drama and suspense to both your television set and the silver screen, with such works on The Great Gatsby and In the Heat of the Night, and most recently known for his work on the AMC classic hit series, The Walking Dead. Help us welcome Mr. Scott Wilson to the studio. Scott, what's going on, man?
You're what's happening.
Hey, I called Dana earlier, and she said, I said, are you going to call Scott and make sure everything's going? She said, no, because he's probably watching football.
Well, I was.
Peyton Manning, huh?
Good. Oh, he had a great game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I'm an Indianapolis kid, born and raised. So when it killed us when he went to Denver.
Know him. And you know him. He did a great job. But, yes.
Yes, it
You're,
is.
you're a big football fan, Scott?
Well, big enough. But it's all fun. It's all good.
Now, I've been doing my research on you, Scott, actually for years, ever since The Exorcist 3, stuff like that from the 80s and on and on. But you've done so much, and we're going to cover that tonight. But I wanted to start out, I was thinking all week what questions to ask Scott, because I want him to remember this show. And I just can't get around some of the basics because our listeners they need to know about when you started out. It's such an amazing story. I mean, basketball scholarships and scholarship for architecture, all that stuff. Can you tell us how it all started as a man from Georgia, a young boy starting out?
Well, my father was a building contractor. He was a mason before, and he was kind of teaching me the trade the way he learned it from his father. And then I was on an athletic, playing basketball at Southern Tech.
That's it.
And which was at the time 2-year branch of Georgia Tech.
Right.
I got hepatitis. He died when I was 13, my father. And I was in the Georgia Tech infirmary. They said I couldn't play basketball anymore, and I got to thinking about it. And I hitchhiked to California when I was healthy, and then ended up in an acting class and stayed with it. 5.5 years later, after doing a lot of plays and workshops, and I got my first film interview, which was In the Heat of the Night.
Right.
And that film was with Sidney Poitier, Rod Steiger, Norman Jewison directed it, and it won, I think, 4, maybe more Academy Awards. I know it was nominated for more. And that led to In Cold Blood with Richard Brooks, and based on Truman Capote's novel.
Right. Classic.
And then I've been up and down the elevator ever since.
Well, I gotta say, when I told my friends that who are all movie aficionados, not myself, I don't know half of what they know, but I said, we've got. I started talking about The Walking Dead and how you were coming on tonight, and they said, well, who is it you're having come on? And I said, well, it's Scott Wilson, and they all turned to me and said, In Cold Blood, Scott Wilson. So that was like, that jumps out as such a such a classic movie with such effect on everybody who's a movie fan.
Yeah, it holds up. I had the occasion to see it recently on the big screen, and it definitely holds up. It's a well-directed film, well-written film. I've been fortunate. When I left Georgia, I really wanted to see some of the world, and that's the reason I left. I hitchhiked out. I was 19 and left Georgia at $40, and I've accomplished it. I've seen quite a bit of the world, and the good thing is I have seen the world while I was working. So, as an actor, so I got to see it in a lot of indigenous films from different countries, like in Poland, Yugoslavia, Hungary, Spain, Israel, Japan, South Korea, Germany. I've been very, I've had a fun run. Hopefully it'll keep going for a while.
Hey, Big Scott, what was it like when because that takes big ones to just be in Georgia all your life. You're at home with Mom. What kind of work were you doing at the time? And what did you see that said, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm heading to L.A., baby, and I'm going to make it work?
Well, again, I was ill. I had hepatitis, and I was in isolation in Georgia Tech Infirmary. And then they said I couldn't play ball anymore. If you have a relapse, it's fatal, and that works on your head.
Yeah.
So I decided I wanted to see some of the world, and I got very fortunate. I ended up in the right acting class, and the instructors there kind of inspired me and made me want to continue acting. And I think I was very lucky that it worked out the way it did, because it's been a lot of fun.
Right. I think I heard in a previous interview you had a couple more drinks than you should have, and you ended up stumbling into a acting class. And
I'm going to leave that out.
Sorry, Scott.
You can't leave that out on this show.
I've done my homework. I did my homework.
What happened, there was a roommate. I got my first job, and I went in with a couple of other guys, and we rented a small house. And one of the guys was 33 at the time. I thought he was an old man, but because I was like 19, and I was really too inebriated to go into the class. So he physically carried me in, sat me down on the sofa, went up, banged on the counter, said, "Who's in charge? I've got a movie star for you." So at the end of the class, the teacher said, "I don't know what your problem is. Don't come back to my class drunk." So I went back the next week and apologized to him, and he gave me a monologue to do from a Eugene O'Neill one-act play called A Long Voyage Home. And I, for some reason, went back the next week and did it, and realized that I had found what I wanted to do. So it was quite fortuitous in a way.
Now, I don't want to be jumping ahead here, but like starting off with the In Cold Blood, In the Heat of the Night, and then In Cold Blood, but you had such a reputation for being the bad guy. And now you're like the loving father figure that America looks up to, the moral guidance. How has that like spanned, that's spread across all those years, but it must affect, the way you go into parts now and think, this is how I'm going to do this. I have this whole repertoire that I can do.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly in the early days, it kind of put me in a corner, in Cold Blood, and even in the Heat of the Night to a degree, even though he wasn't a guilty party in the Heat of the night. He was accused of killing someone, but he didn't. And he was a more sympathetic character. But in Cold Blood did put me in a corner. And I did a Robert Aldrich film called The Grissom Gang because I said, okay, this is a different kind of a killer. I'll show that I can act. And it was fun working with Robert Aldrich. He was a wonderful director. I've been very fortunate with the directors that I've worked with right from the beginning, and up through The Walking Dead. There's some wonderful directors directing that show.
Oh yeah. Well, I know I've seen you in X-Files and CSI and all these. And it just, I know it's not easy. I know you got to prepare, but you just make it seem so easy. And then I was watching Exorcist 3 with the kids, last night before they went to sleep because they wanted to see it. And of course, they ran to bed. They didn't want to see when it got real bad. But you made me nervous when you smoking those cigarettes one after the one. How do you prepare for these different roles? Mentally.
Well, a little training goes into it, and a lot of imagination, and I always suggest to young actors that they listen to themselves and follow their imagination. It's quite often when you first read something, you see it more clearly than you do in subsequent readings, but try to get back to that first reading if you can. And I know when I read that, Dr. Temple was possessed by the devil in that show. And I said, let's make him nervous.
Why did you?
I actually suggested to Bill Blatty, who I worked with in a film called The Ninth Configuration, that's a bit of a cult film.
Oh, yeah.
But I suggested to him that we make him a chain smoker, and it would do several things. One, it would show how fidgety he was, and two, it would make smoking look bad.
Yeah, it was killing me. You had stacks of magazines. You said, they got good articles. I just haven't got to them. And you had that ashtray just flowing over with smokes, and I got nervous. You just brought it home. You're good friends with William Peter Blatty, right?
I am. I haven't seen him in a long time. He lives back in the Washington area or Virginia, back in that area.
Yeah, and of course.
I've talked to him, but I haven't seen him in a while.
The Exorcist and everything like that. Dealing with the dark films, is there anything, because you always seem to be portrayed, like Demon Hunter said, in the dark genre, like...
Yeah, well, I did a film a few years ago based on a play that Pope John Paul II wrote. When he was a young man, he was an actor and a playwright, and Carol Wojtyla before he became John Paul. But I played a saint in that. It's probably the only time in history that a playwright has canonized his protagonist, and because he did sanctify Adam Murlovsky, who was a successful artist, and he lived from 1845 to 1917. And in his 40s, he came in contact with the homeless and the poor, and it had a profound impact on him. He gave up the world of art, became a monk, and devoted the balance of his life to helping the poor. And actually, Mother Teresa's sisters studied with the Albertine sisters before they went to India.
Wow.
But so we had two audiences with Pope John Paul II, which was
Oh my.
quite an experience. So I've played good guys too.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Scott.
Well,
I'm sorry, Nate. Go ahead.
I was just thinking. This just popped in my head. I realized this week when I was going over your bio and everything. A while back, I had watched a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio called Shutter Island, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, I know I've seen this story before, and it wasn't until I was going through your bio and I saw Castle Keep.
Oh yeah.
That I realized, I have seen this story before. It's that constant regrowing of a reusing of the good classic stories, and you see them happen again. I mean, again, Great Gatsby just came out again last year. It's
It did. The Castle Keep was Burt Lancaster, and what a hell of an actor he was.
Oh yeah.
And Sidney Pollack directed that. It was one of his early films, maybe second or third at most, but what a great body of work he ended up with. And so it's been John Frankenheimer. There are a lot of fantastic directors. Krzysztof Zanussi, who's a Polish director, I did a film with in 1984 during martial law in Poland, and it was the first, I guess, American-Polish co-production, and with some German producer as well, Regina Ziegler, and Krzysztof and I talked about making the film for about 9 years before we finally got it made. And we entered it in the Venice Film Festival and won the Golden Lion at Venice Film Festival. So that was quite an interesting experience. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
And I think a nice film, too.
Hey, Scott, I wanted to ask you, because we had one of your co-hosts on from The Walking Dead. We had Michael Rooker, Big Mikey, on. It's been a couple months back. And he was telling us, the jobs he worked in between when he was building up his career. And, of course, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer was his big break. But he said he cleaned trailers for the stars. He did odds and ends when he was working. What kind of jobs did you have? Because I knew it just didn't happen right away.
No. First job that I did was knocking on doors and selling periodicals. We didn't call them magazines. They were periodicals. So I did that. I worked at the Superior Oil Company as a mail clerk. That was a very large company, oil company. And they offered actually to pay my way through school, USC or UCLA, wherever I wanted to go, if I would stay with them for X number of years after I graduated. And I told them that I was actually going to school. I'd been going to acting classes at night, but they said, "Oh, great! What are you studying?" I said, "Acting." And a few months later, they fired me. But they were very nice. That was fun. And then I worked as a mail clerk at a shipping clerk at Bailey Films. That's an educational films house that rents films to schools and colleges and civic groups. And ended up splicing film there, not editing, but splicing films when they broke. So then working in gas stations and working in grocery stores as box boy and cashier, and working in parking cars and whatever I could do to find a way to pay for acting classes.
Got real familiar with ramen noodles, huh? That's kind of how I did it through college.
It's funny too, because I have a lot of young kids that work for me who, most of them are film students or acting students, things like that. And I remember them talking to me one day and saying, "You've had so many jobs, Nathan. Why? It's hard to believe you've done so many things." And I've explained to them that when you're following your dream, you go out and do whatever it takes to follow the dream. Which means
it doesn't really work either.
Yeah, it's
you're in pursuit of something, and I didn't dwell on the jobs. Well, I have to say, when I hit about 21, somewhere around there, I said, "What am I doing with my life? Am I going to?" I was making minimum wage. That was about $1.65 an hour, and I'm saying, "What am I doing here?" And I had worked as a junior draftsman in Atlanta before I came out here. And I brought some of my samples of my work with me when I came out here and to California. And I looked around for a job. I was offered a job with Western Geographical drafting underground oil deposits. And, they said you can go as high as you want to go. It's up to you. And you'd be traveling the world drafting underground oil deposit. And I said, well, it's either pumping gas or drafting. I guess I'll pump gas and take my chances. So that was kind of the second, the second time I had to make a choice.
Yeah.
And it was, so I kept pumping gas and enjoying doing the classes and doing plays that I was, and building sets and doing the lighting and putting in the chairs. And it was intensive, I'd say, for 5 years. Every day I was doing something related to acting.
Right.
Acting itself. So,
Scott, getting to The Walking Dead, the AMC's, hit series.
Can I throw one bit of history back before we go into the Walking Dead show? Because once we go forward, I don't want to go back.
You go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, Scott, In the Heat of the Night, huge influence on my life. I grew up in a small town in New Jersey, and right next door we had a town called Sparta, and there was a chief called Gillespie, and that area of New Jersey, that northwestern corner, is so backwoods back in the 60s and 70s, and there was a lot of racial tension there that everybody assumed that the book had been written about that town.
Oh, wow.
And,
I can understand that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of coincidences.
Yeah, so it was just one of those...
Working with Sidney Poitier and Rod Steiger in your first film was a little, awed. You're awed by it. You're working with legends they were legends at the time, and it was just a great way to start because they were so supportive, and so was Norman Jewison, and they were just so totally supportive of me and what I was trying to do as an actor, and helpful. And actually, Sidney Poitier and had called Richard Brooks, who directed In Cold Blood, and told him that he should see me. And I wasn't aware of that until the last day of shooting on the Heat of the Night. And Quincy Jones also called him. That was Quincy's first two films that he did the score on, was In Cold Blood and In the Heat of the Night. And Norman was allowing him to look at the dailies, which I didn't know anything about. And it was just, they couldn't have been nicer to me. And I've never forgotten that. And I try to pass a little of that on when I have the opportunity to with young actors that I'm working with. I try to be generous with them.
Oh, wow. I wish I was still a young actor.
Yeah.
And Rod I've done, I think, three different films with Rod Steiger, who won the Academy Award for that for Best Actor.
Wow.
Well, it was such a, it was only a few years after Steinbeck had written Travels with Charlie and had talked so much about the separatism of the whites and the blacks in the South. He almost apologized for writing that part of the book. And, and then, In the Heat of the Night comes out, and that's just throwing it in the face of the population. During the time that this came out, did you encounter any, anybody, arguing with you for being in this movie at the time?
I never did, no. I have to say that I never did. And I know that I was hoping at the time that the film would, by this time, would become so in the past that you would be saying, what are they talking about? It's the racial tensions that were in the film. But it's a good murder mystery as well.
Yeah.
I mean, as well as dealing with social issues that were very relevant at the time and are still relevant, but not as much so as they were then.
That was an amazing movie. But get into The Walking Dead, your last project that you were working on. Did you think, I know you were reading the script before and your mother was there and she said it was really good. What did you feel when you first read that thing? Were you ready to go?
Well, after I saw first of all, when you hear Frank Darabont and you hear Gail Ann Hurd's names mentioned,
right,
your ears perk up. You want to hear more about it. And I hadn't seen the shows prior to that, but after there was some interest in me doing 3 or 4 episodes, or 2 or 3, I forget what it was at the time. But I made it a point to look at the first season, the first 6 shows that they had the first season, and I loved what I saw. I thought the zombies were just so well done, and that's Greg Nicotero, his work and his team, and it gave, because they were so well done, it gave the actors a lot of room to work, and it allowed the actors to become, this band of survivors that were in this apocalyptic world. And I said, that's great, and it's going to open the door for a lot of opportunities down the road. And I'd like to work with these kids, or these young actors. They're not kids. These young actors, because I was excited by what they were doing.
But a lot of them did say, Scott, that they looked up to you as a father on the set. Matter of fact, when you were on The Talking Dead, you said it's exactly like being on. I mean, heck, the whole stage was crying when you got. I mean, my wife was tearing up, for God's sakes. I was like, no, not Hershel. So, it's such an emotional. You had such an emotional, like Nathan was saying, kick your butt if you don't do what I'm trying to tell you to do. I'm teaching you father figure on the show. It broke so many hearts. Was it like a family on the show? And if it was, what was it like when the cameras, were off? Did it continue?
Well, yeah, there was and still is social intercourse with the cast members. Some of us play golf, or we meet, we have dinner, we go shoot pool. There's the other night there was a dinner here that several of us were at.
Yeah, that's a pool hall I want to walk into, Sean, and just see the cast of The Walking Dead shooting pool.
We'll walk up to Scott and say, hey, we did a TV show. Will you take us and throw us on a couch and tell us that we're up for it? We've had some film time, Scott, with reality TV, and we got to feel Demon Hunter more so than me, but we got to host our own television show. And, of course, it didn't go for the full season, got canceled, but I was going to ask you, what's it feel like being such a great actor? Because we know how all the lights are on you, the camera, you're dealing with the elements, all these other actors standing around you, and you have to deliver this scene. What's that feel like? Have you ever messed up and it just kind of shatter you for a minute, and you have to, how do you motivate yourself to get back in it when you mess up?
Very rarely do you do one take.
Right.
So you have multiple opportunities, and you're working with actors who are very prepared. They're very professional and talented people that you're working with. So it's easy to work with people that are talented. It's fun, sometimes your best work is off camera when you're trying to help the actor that's on camera. So and everyone on that show is like that. So it's really, I think that tone is set by Andrew and of course Norman and all the other wonderful actors that I was fortunate enough to work with on it. I really loved working on the show. It was a lot of fun, and it's the first time that it's the longest amount of time that I've worked on with a character, same character, Hershel, over, in essence, 3 seasons.
Right.
And it's really quite interesting. Mostly, I've done a few guest shots on television, but mostly I've done film, and you have like a 2-hour script somewhere in that neighborhood. So you have your beginning, middle, and end, and you can arc it out, and you once you've done it, it's over. But in this, you see a script and you say, okay, this is a line that may be foretelling something that's going to happen in the future. So it's you pay attention to the lines. You pay attention to where it may be going, and you try to plant the seeds.
Hey,
when it does come up, it will resonate. if not consciously, subconsciously with the audience that
Right.
been following the show. So it's totally. I was totally excited it was exciting to play the role.
Now, I do have a question from the chat room. Somebody wanted to ask, the veterinary community was very excited to have a vet on the show. How did the writers and you prepare for the skill sets that would be needed to bring that to the group?
Well, it was interesting. A friend of mine that I grew up with went to veterinary school, and I called him, talked to him a little bit about it, and these veterinarians are well trained, and it was loved the line with that I had with Sarah Wayne Callies, and I think it was the first episode that I was in, where she says, "So you're a doctor?" And he says, "I'm a vet." She says, "You're a veteran of the war?" And I said, "No, I'm a veterinarian." She says, "Well, you're in way over your head, aren't you?" And I think Hershel's response was, "Aren't we all?"
Yeah.
But it's catch as catch can in that world. In the world of in any apocalyptic situation, it's catch as catch can.
Well, Transcat wanted to get that question out there. I do have one that I have been dying to ask you. Did you know that smile you gave at the end of the last episode was going to pull the heartstrings of America? Because every guy who watched that show just went, I bet my dad would have smiled at me like that.
I think everybody
felt so proud.
Everybody called their dad, Scott, after that scene.
Well, it was. I'll give the writers credit too. The writers suggested that there's a smile there, and I immediately saw the wisdom of it. And the director, Ernest Dickerson, was there, and he reminded me that it was time to do the smile. And Ernest was the one that introduced me to the show. He directed the first episode I was in, and then he chopped my leg off and started season 3, and then he took my head off.
You're a good actor when you can lose body parts and they still want you around. You know what I mean?
I just gotta say, my father passed away years ago, and on the last night that I spent with him, holding his hand, he gave me that smile, and I watched you on TV and went, "That was the smile my dad gave just before," and it's always stuck with me. And I watched you do it, and I cried. I cried when I saw the smile, and what a wonderful.
Well, it's never easy to lose a parent. My father died when I was 13. Yeah. But then I lost a lot of uncles who died from that point forward. Actually, one of them died before my father did, and I've seen that smile too from uncles who became like father figures to me. So it's I understand what you're saying. There's a beauty to it. There's a sweetness to it.
Yeah.
There's a acceptance of you to it. Yeah.
Well, Scott, I tell you what, man, it has been an honor, and we could talk to you for hours on end because you can teach us so much, and you have taught so much over the years in your acting career, and you've accomplished so many things. Do you have is there anything that anybody should know? Is there any place that people could get a hold of you, send you an email or a thank you, anything?
Well, I don't know. There's a Facebook. I don't do any of the really do any of the social media. I should, because I realize that it's an important part of today's world. But there's a Facebook page that someone sent me a entry to. It's called Tribute to Hershel Greene, Greene. And a lot of fans have found that page, and they keep contributing to contributing to it, and it keeps growing. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it really makes me feel good that I have connected with the public and the fans of the show as much as I have.
It's going to be hard mid-season coming back up in 2 weeks to come back without Hershel Greene. I mean, it's going to be a big thing. I'm sure they're going to do it, but people feel your loss, Scott, on the show.
Do you think Rick's gonna portray the new Hershel sensation? Like, did that smile encourage him to go forth and be the Hershel of the group?
Well, now I get to sit back and watch the show as a fan would watch it, and I wonder the same things. But he's so focused on what he's doing, and he brings such energy to the set, and it's contagious. Every member on the set is very, very focused. And I think I think 8 was really set up for Hershel by 403. What was the name of that episode? It's where before he goes into the prison, he gives his, if you step outside, you risk your life.
Oh yeah.
All of that. That set it up, and that was the first really proactive stuff that Hershel had done in some time. Usually he was more reactive to what was going on around him, which is good. It's good either way. It's good stuff to play either way. But he was more proactive there. And then in 405 internment was another very proactive scene.
Mm-hmm.
Episode for Hershel is probably the best episode that Hershel has had there. Chandler Powell wrote that episode, and David Boyd was the director of it.
Powerful, man.
I love how you refer to Hershel like he's a separate person when he's on the set.
That's it.
Well, it kind of is,
Yeah. No,
Best-
I understand completely. But normally, so often we hear people saying, when I did this, and that is the separate person when you're there, and it's
it's however someone refers to the character they're playing, or however they refer to it, that's their personal preference. But I think I've always made it kind of third person when I'm talking about what I'm doing. It kind of allows me to step back a little bit to evaluate what I'm doing, for me personally.
Quick question about B4TM. It's been announced. The character of Eugene. Is this something?
Oh yeah. That was in a little film 2 years ago called Behind the Mask.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice little film. It was a spoof in a way on the horror genre, and they're talking about doing a sequel to it.
Mm.
So I played this kind of role model for these. It was really a wonderful little film. Very witty, very clever, and about all the things that are kind of the staples of that genre. Like the bad guy is chasing you and he's just walking and he keeps gaining on you while you're running.
That's like the unlimited shotgun ammo.
Right.
Remember that, Scott? Do you still have that shotgun?
I wish I did. That was a lot of fun, that episode.
I gotta
Tell you
say,
what I do have my head in a trash bag in the closet.
Oh my gosh!
you're just like the governor now.
You know what I always wanted, Demon Hunter? I wanted Scott, if he stays after a minute after the show and does the Ghost Man Demon Hunter show thing for us, for him to say one of the most powerful lines: "Come back here." You once said this isn't a democracy? And then go, you listen to the Ghost Man Demon Hunter show. Come back here and listen. I know you want to.
It was fun. But again, like Laurie Holt, another wonderful actress. Jeffrey DeMunn, what a terrific actor he was to work with. John Bernthal, Stephen Yeun.
Yeah.
All these wonderful, Lauren Cohen, Emily, Melissa McBride,
Mm-hmm.
both my daughters were just fantastic, and the new people that have come on since I was there, I call them new, but they've been there a couple of seasons now. And the Governor was a fantastic villain. So interesting. It's a fun show. It's a fun show for all the actors, and everyone really works hard. They work, and the crew works incredibly hard. They're very. I mean, you're shooting in 8 days. Most episodes are 8 days. Maybe you get 9, but you're shooting action stuff that on a movie would take you at least 2 weeks to shoot. They're doing it in a day or half a day.
Right.
It's really, really amazing.
Did you have any, were you a little bit more prepared for the Georgia heat, having been grown up there?
I don't think you're ever prepared for that, even if you live there year round. I mean, it gets very hot and humid, and a lot of insects.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of things.
Scott, we've kept you over 10 minutes, sir. Could you stay on the line while we close out the show?
Sure.
We appreciate that. And Sean, wow.
Yeah. Hey, man, Scott Wilson. That's in 8 years of doing this, actor Scott Wilson, one of my favorite shows we've done.
Probably,
Great.
yeah, I got to agree.
Great.
Scott, stay on 1 minute, brother.
Okay. Thank you.
Demon Hunter, we got to do this.
Oh, no, I don't want to.
That's it, guys. Hey, make sure to find us now at Stitcher, Smart Radio. You can pick us up there. You can pick us up at Planet Paranormal as well. Special thanks to Creations by Souls Denounce at soulsdenounce.com. Midnight Syndicate, thanks for the tunes. Be sure to check out our website, guys, for the Susan G. Komen 3-day race for the cure. Make sure you get in there and battle cancer, guys. Go today. It's a serious thing, okay? Special thanks to Burning Bridget Cleary. Find out more about them or tonight's band at burningbridgetcleary.com. Hey, from the haunted back roads of America, this has been another exclusive G&D interview. Don't go changing America. You know we won't, Demon Hunter.
Because we love you.
Night, guys.